It's 10 p.m. in Banjul, and this is GRTS News, broadcasting for viewers in the Gambia and around the world. Our top stories this hour. Gambia's ambassador to the United States, Dr. Fadera, dies on Sunday at the Edward Francis Small Teaching Hospital in Banjul. A dialogue to sustain growth, regional development group TOSTAN meets stakeholders in the Central River to build a strategic course for the future. The Lamin Tailoring Association delivers new industrial sewing machines to young tailors on the credit scheme aimed at empowering youths in the dressmaking sector. In sports, young athletes contest in the inter-primary school independent sporting championship with the West Coast trumping opponents to defend its title. And Buckingham Palace says Queen Elizabeth is infected with the coronavirus under mild cold-like symptoms. Plus, President Vladimir Putin oversees extensive nuclear exercises as tensions surge over Ukraine. Well, that's the top of the news, and much more coming ahead with me, Rohibite. Here we begin with Regional Development Advocacy Group TOSTAN, which has staged one of the biggest dialogue seminars on rural programs being initiated across the Central River region. The Technical Advisory Committee Review Forum was earmarked to evaluate and share information on the implementation of the organization projects in the Central River. Mudlaming Sani has the details of the report.
TOSTAN has gathered members of the Technical Advisory Committee in the Central River region to jointly review their activities over the years. The important review and information sharing session featured discussions on key issues as TOSTAN moves to implement its project plans in over 60 communities in the Central River region. Discussions here started with TOSTAN field officers who stood up to deliver insights of the organization's work within the region since it started implementing programs in 2020, as well as outlined project plans to be implemented.
How the community empowerment program is able to empower the communities gradually, which is a gradual process, but then how communities also start to have a better understanding of the fact that they are also part of development, and development could start from the grassroots. This is what the government needs. The development approach have to be shifted to be bottom-up approach. So that cannot be achieved if the people don't understand the basic issues around development, and most importantly their own involvement to decide what is good for their community so that they can have ownership and sustainability.
The crucial gathering for regional head of institutions reviewed TOSTAN's engagements in the region and forwarded recommendations for the future.
Strategic objective of the NDP and the work we are doing, they are very much aligned. But then at the end of the day, TAC members are singularly important because the government and the people are here to stay. NGOs, our projects have a timeline. At the end of the day, one day we will go and expand and scale our program to other communities in this region or other regions of the Gambia. But the knowledge and skills that TOSTAN is able to impact on the people will remain. So but TAC members and local authorities need to have this understanding for the purpose of sustainability and continuity.
Let's concentrate on our performance. Let's concentrate on our works and our duties and responsibilities we owe to the state. We owe it to ourselves, we owe it to our family, our children, and we owe it to generations yet unborn. It will be a sin on all of us to neglect our responsibilities. Brothers, we have a lot at stake. I thank TOSTAN once again. They are definitely in no way relenting in what they are supposed to do for us to achieve what we really desire.
At the end of the forum, TOSTAN and these relevant partners will be putting together strategic ideas for implementation through the Community Empowerment Program targeting 60 communities in the region. Mudlamin Sane reporting for GRTS News from the Central River region.
The Ministry of Foreign Affairs, International Cooperation and Gambians Abroad regrets to announce the untimely demise of the Ambassador of the Republic of the Gambia to the United States of America, His Excellency Dauda Doka Fadera. This sad news occurred today, 28 February 2022, at the Edward Francis Small Teaching Hospital. The Ministry of Foreign Affairs, International Cooperation and Gambians Abroad hereby extends its deepest sympathy to the family, friends and colleagues of the late ambassador and prays that Allah the Almighty bless him with the highest rank in Jannah. Funeral arrangements will be announced later. We head down to Lamen in the West Coast region, where the town's tailoring association received 20 sewing machines on loan under a payable duration of 6 months from Reliance Financial Services. The industrial sewing machines are meant for members looking to expand investment. The credit partnership seeks to support beneficiaries in a bid to boost the town's dressmaking industry. Usman Balde witnessed the presentation and he now reports.
The Lamen Tailoring Association was formed in 2009 with a purpose to bring in together professional tailors residing in the expansive town under a single network, building unity among professionals in the massive dressmaking industry. Coming together has brought more growth for these tailors, with an organization geared towards empowering members through financial social changes. Isa Trawale, the organization's Secretary General, is leading a focused development efforts in Lamen's tailoring industry. He outlined the delivery of machines to members as vital project helping to boost dressmaking in Lamen.
It will develop it socially and economically because it will increase tailoring work skills and income because you have additional machine. It will increase your work and it will within less time because if you have a efficient machine, it will make your work faster than which is not efficient. So definitely it's going to help us a lot. And others who are behind, it will show them that definitely this association is moving forward. So therefore they will come forward as well to join this association.
The Honorable Father of the association and top advisor, Alhaji Yusufa Gomez, believe access to industrial sewing machines will significantly expand the association work and call on other private sectors to empower such associations working to improve the tailoring industry.
The private sector to look at this type of trades and really support them. The Financial Reliance Services has done their bit. And thank you very much for coming to the request of the Tailoring Association here in partnership with them to give them this loan so that other members of the association can benefit. I would also appeal to other financial institutions, NGOs, government institutions to support this Tailoring Association to reach, to achieve their objectives.
The industrial sewing machines are part of a scheme undertaken with Reliance Financial Services, which is partnering with Performance Sectors Initiative to boost employment and income via smart time, short-time loans.
It is a loan that we give to the Lamen Tailors Association, and it is a very cheap loan for that matter. We put them together, organize them, and then form the association, and we started with them like we did for the women. It has been very successful with the women, and we hope that this is also going to be a very successful one based on our experience in these types of activities.
The sewing machines will significantly empower youths in the growing tailoring industry, where access to machinery consistently challenges young tailors looking to break into the dynamic dressmaking sector. Usman Balde, GRTS News.
Now to philanthropic efforts serving humanity. The second batch of beneficiaries of the ML Heart Foundation treatment scheme recently returned from Turkey after successful heart surgeries. As Louis Mendy reports, families of the beneficiary children are greatly thankful to the foundation.
Lamin Kamara, a data entry clerk at the Edward Francis Small Teaching Hospital, is now a lifesaver. The young man has dropped his tools and went on to establish the ML Heart Foundation to facilitate overseas treatment for children with heart diseases. But what has motivated him?
My first year working at VTH, I was posted at the cardiac clinic, so I see how these patients suffer a lot during their admissions and during their monthly appointments. At times, they will even the parents will even cry because they don't have medication available in the hospital at times. So they have to go out and buy it. Remember, this is not about monthly. This is not about maybe you take this medication today and when you are okay, you don't take it anymore. You take this for a lifetime when you don't have your treatment at times.
Today, the ML Heart Foundation has successfully flown 2 batches of children to Turkey and have returned sound and healthy after surgery. 8-year-old our Kamara is one of the lucky beneficiaries. Our had a ventricular septical defect, a disease of the heart that was tormenting her. Our mom, Mam Kumbaba, is grateful to ML and his foundation.
Yeah, because like thinking about Dehawa, since she was born with this condition, I witnessed, I saw her during those days. Her condition was bad before. Today she is happy. Likewise, other patients also. Yeah, 3 are back. The other one, there are 4, but the other one is there. But like the suspect and other thing different from the cardiac, so they want to correct that one so that the child can come back again.
3-year-old Aruna Tarwale is a twin. The brother is going to school, but poor Aruna can't even talk, denied a buoyant childhood life by heart complications. Today, the correction has been done thanks to the ML Heart Foundation and its reliable Turkish partners who, from the onset of this program, take care of the patient's bill and that of their escorts during their stay in Turkey. Aruna's mother, Asadaba, is grateful to the foundation.
I'm thanking God, Alhamdulillah, and the entire team of ML Heart Foundation, with my partners in Turkey also. We are so much grateful.
Our children wouldn't have made it without going to Turkey. The doctors in Turkey said we are lucky to have met them. The words of Nimasila, whose child was part of the second batch.
A lot of kids are dying with this condition. They need support, they didn't have it, and they are poor children. They are from poor family. They cannot afford the treatment, because the treatment cannot be done here. So obviously we need more support.
For emotional Lamin Kamara, nothing is more important than saving life. Louis Mendy, GRTS.
Now more tourists are jetting into the Smiling Coast, expanding the outlook of the 2021-2022 holiday season amid renewed efforts driving tourism towards recovery. In the face of the global pandemic, International Travel Airline Tour is the latest tour operator to bring in holidaymakers, with a massive arrival of visitors set to inject new life into the travel sector amid broad disruptions caused by COVID-19. Usman Balde was at the Banjul International Airport.
It is 2 years since TUI Airways landed in the Gambia. Today it is back with 60 tourists as Destination Gambia begins to attract tourists once again in face of the global 19 pandemic. But the director of marketing at the Gambia Tourism Board, Adam Anjai, explained that his office is working hard to market the country after it has been cleared for tourists due to the strive made to contain the COVID-19 pandemic.
I think the good news about having TUI Holland is I'm sure you are aware that they were absent for 2 years since the COVID started. And by bringing them to fly twice a week, which is for Saturdays and Wednesdays, all year round for that matter, it's a big plus for Destination Gambia. And I think we actually have a meeting with TUI, and we're working behind the scenes to make sure that flights are increased from Holland for 2 for now, but we want to push it to the previous years, where at least you have TUI Holland 4. Currently, you have TUI UK 4 to make it 8. If you have Belgium 2, you already have 10 already TUI group. So I think it's a good thing. At least now, this is not seasonal. It's going to be all year round.
Adama also gave an overview of the arrival of flights since the beginning of the tourist season in November 2021.
If you look at the combination for both scattered and scheduled, per week we have about 53 per week. I can give you a breakdown in terms of, like I said, if you took TUI for now, you have 4 flights per week from TUI UK. Now we have already experienced 2 flights from TUI Holland. And it is because of the pandemic, but TUI Belgium was also planning to come. So I'm saying, if you look at also Air France, they're also flying daily. The last of Corendon is also 3 times a week. Gambia Experience is twice a week from the UK. And the list goes on. So like I said, if you compare both schedule and charter flights per week, you have about 53 flights a week.
The managing director of Gambia Tourist and local rep of TUI Airlines said TUI Airways was also interrupted by the pandemic, but believed that the number of tourist arrival will be increased in the coming weeks.
Today is the first flight from Amsterdam, and we have like 60 guests on the flight because it's sharing with Cape Verde Islands. They'll be flying 2 times a week, that's Saturday and Wednesday. And when we look at the numbers for the future arrivals, I can see that it's increasing. That means the confidence is coming back. The people are feeling safe to travel again.
Some of the arrivals describe the Gambia as a land of hospitality and friendly people. And for these reasons why they continue to come and explore new places and friends.
I'm very glad as well that we are again in Gambia. We've been here 2 years for the last time. The corona was starting. And after 2 years we are back again. And we're very glad that we can come to Gambia again.
So very glad to be back. Yeah, so we hope everything went well in Gambia.
So I locally got a message from the United Nations. The people know me there. And they say, Harry, you choose the best country in the world at that moment because coronavirus cannot float in the air. And then it falls on the ground. If it is out, it falls on the ground. The sun is too hot, and in 5 minutes it's gone.
TUI Air tourists are all about getting to know the world's most exclusive destination, including the Gambia. Usman Balde, GRTS News.
Well, time now to take our first break. We'll be back with sports. Do stay. Welcome back. Now, as part of events commemorating the Gambia's 57th independence anniversary, the Primary School Sports Association hosted the annual Inter-Regional Primary School Independence Athletic Championship, drawing athletes from all regions. The record winners, West Coast region, once again proved too strong for their opponents as they retained the crown in back-to-back wins. Famara Baji witnessed the events at the Independence Stadium.
It was another moment for primary school students to showcase their athletic potentials as 7 regions converge at the Independence Stadium as part of events celebrating the country's independence. The young athletes competed in different entertaining events like the lemon spoon race, the bucket balance race, the potato race, and the sprint events including the 100 meters, 200 meters, and the relays. Some field events like long jumps and high jumps were as well part of the activities. The events were well contested by the regions, with the Lower River region and the Upper River region sending early warnings, but the defending champions West Coast region gradually gained momentum and dominated most of the relay events. Officials of primary school sports expressed delight with the conduct of this year's edition.
I am very much delighted because this time around is very orderly. And I am amazed with the support from parents, teachers, directors, ministers, Gambia Teachers Union, Cadet Union, that supported by giving us prize money.
This is purely athletics at the grassroots level, looking at the athletes from different categories of age, from 8 to 12 or to 15, are all competing here.
The governor of the West Coast region appealed for more support to help develop grassroots sports in the country.
Let's motivate them, let's encourage them, let's give them the opportunity to excel, especially the parents, the teachers. I always see that at times in some schools, they don't give priority to athletes or even athletic competition. They say go and read your books, go and study. It's part of the curriculum. It's part of development. So they are first encourage everybody to be part of this thing to make a difference in the country.
We're here today to witness our own children, our sons and daughters, our nephews, our cousins, who we believe with the type of talents that we saw today, there's every indication that some of them will graduate to national championship and become national athletes. So this family support event is very, very important and crucial for the development of sport in this country.
The young athletes could not hide their feelings after taking part in the events.
I'm so happy and excited about this sport today. Yes, I never been to this estate. This is my first day to be in estate.
This is your first experience?
Yes, I thank my teachers and my parents for allowing me here to come and do this sport here.
I was very happy. Yes, I was very happy because my grandma allowed me to come here. Yes, because my auntie tell them everything about this sport. Yes, and I'm thanking all my teachers.
After keenly contested events on the tracks and field events, athletes who finished within the top 3 were decorated with certificates and cash prizes as they took to the podium.
See the future of women athletes growing each and every day, because this is where we all started, from the primary school, the junior school, the senior secondary school, and then here we are today. So by seeing these grassroots athletes running, competing, is so emotional, and I feel that yes, I'm seeing myself on the track.
The big athletes name that you are hearing started from us. All of them started from us, and here they are, representing the Gambia. I would want to say, in fact, they need to be encouraged. This is grassroots sports. If you nurture them well, in the long run, you will produce better athletes than even Jenabas.
After the children completed their events, it was the turn of the teachers to revive their running skills, and the West Coast region athlete finished first in the female category, while the Lower River region athlete defeated his counterparts to win the male teachers category. It was all delight for the West Coast region again, as they defeated the rest of the regions to retain the crown. Farmer Abaji, GRTS News.
The Democratic Republic of Congo's under-17 national girls team has begun training for the qualifiers of this year's FIFA Under-17 Women's World Cup. The team is preparing for a clash with Nigeria in the capital since Kinshasa next month.
First training session of the DRC's under-17 girls national team kicks off in Kinshasa. The DRC's small leopards are preparing for Nigeria's flamingos in the second round of the Confederation of African Football qualifiers slated for next month. The young Congolese players are optimistic about defeating their Nigerian counterparts.
Our supporters shouldn't be discouraged. They should come to watch women's football. Many people here underrate us and keep complaining that girls don't play well. I'm challenging them to come and watch our match. They will be happy.
We have a good team spirit and we are working towards defeating our opponents when we meet them in the tournament.
10 teams from African countries were initially competing for 3 slots in the qualifiers for the 2022 FIFA Under-17 Women's World Cup. But Rwanda pulled out of the tournament last month. That enabled the DRC team to advance to the second round where they'll face Nigeria.
nous aurons une très bonne équipe. D'ailleurs, toza déjà na bango parce que tozo mona.
We have a very good team with very good potential. I respect Nigerian team, but we won't fear them because we are up to the task.
The DRC team began their qualifying campaign for the Under-17 Women's World Cup 2 years ago, but suspended it after the World Football Governing Body cancelled the tournament due to the COVID-19 pandemic. The DRC's national team players are in high spirits as they train ahead of their match against Nigeria next month. Both teams are looking to secure a spot in the FIFA Under-17 Women's World Cup that will be held in India in October this year. Chris Sochamringa, CGTN, Kinshasa, Democratic Republic of Congo.
Another quick break. We will be back shortly with the international news. Don't go away. Welcome back. Time to look at other news making headline around the world, starting off in Moscow, where Russian President Vladimir Putin personally oversaw large-scale drills conducted by Russia's strategic deterrence forces within Russian territory on Saturday. An Iskander ground-based cruise missile was launched from a training ground in the Astrakhan region in southern Russia, and the Yars intercontinental ballistic missile was launched at a target on the Kamchatka Peninsula from northwest Russia's Plesk Cosmodrome. The Kremlin said the strategic deterrence exercise will check the combat readiness of troops and the reliability of their weapons was planned previously. And Buckingham Palace says the Queen has tested positive for COVID-19 on Sunday. A statement from the palace said the monarch is experiencing mild cold-like symptoms, but efforts to continue light duties at Windsor over the coming week. She will continue to receive medical attention and will follow all the appropriate guidelines, it adds. The 95-year-old Queen has already had 3 COVID vaccines. And a decade of engagements in Mali and Sahel region finally comes to an end for France as European partners announce the withdrawal of troops from the West African nation. French troops have been operating in the Sahel for almost a decade now in the fight against insurgents. CGTN's Daniel Arap Moy looks at foreign military operations in the West African region.
Using Mali as a base for fighting the insurgents who have wreaked havoc across the Sahel for years. In 2012, Al-Qaeda's North African wing, Hakim, hijacked a Tuareg rebellion north of the capital, Bamako. The rebellion in northern Mali prompted the intervention of French forces in 2013. 5,000 French troops were deployed in Mali at the government's request. In 2017, Hakim merged with other militant groups to form Jamaat Nusrat al-Islam wal Muslimin. Another group formed and allied itself to Islamic State, becoming Islamic State in the Greater Sahara. The groups now control territory in Mali, Burkina Faso and Niger, operating across much of the Sahel. Insurgents have been raiding in the region from their bases in the Sahara Desert. Thousands have died and over 2 million have been displaced from their homes. Local economies that used to rely on cattle herding and farming have collapsed. Former colonial power France has led the fight against insurgency with around 2,400 troops in Mali alone. An African-led force called the G5 Sahel, with troops from Mali, Mauritania, Chad, Niger and Burkina Faso are also deployed in the region. The United States has approximately 800 strong force operating out of Niger. Germany and Italy also have troops in the Sahel region. However, France and allies are withdrawing troops from Mali after almost a decade of fighting militants. The Takuba Special Forces mission led by France will now be wound down. The French troops involved in Operation Barkhane will be withdrawn over the next 4 to 6 months. There are growing fears that France's withdrawal from Mali could further destabilize the Sahel. Daniel Arap Moy, CGTN, Nairobi, Kenya.
Meanwhile, Niger has accepted French troops to cross over to its territory after the Malian government directed immediate withdrawal of the troops from its side. President Mohamed Bazoum said Niger accepted French and European special forces in its territory to boost security near the border with its neighboring country. Bazoum was speaking on Friday after France and European allies announced they would start withdrawing troops fighting armed groups operating in Africa's western Sahel region in Mali. Our goal is for our border with Mali to be secure, Bazoum said on Twitter, saying he expects threats from the armed groups to rise in the area following the departure of French forces. You're watching GRTS News with me, Rohibite. A quick look at our top stories once again. The Gambia's ambassador to the United States, Dauda Doka Fadera, died on Sunday at the Edward Francis Small Teaching Hospital in Banjul. Dialoguing to sustain growth regional development group Toston is meeting stakeholders in the Central River to build a strategic course for the future. The Lamin Tailoring Association has delivered new industrial sewing machines to young tailors under a credit scheme aimed at empowering youths in the dressmaking sector. In sport, young athletes contested in the Inter-Primary School Independent Sporting Championship with the West Coast region trumping opponents to defend its title. And Buckingham Palace said the Queen is infected with the coronavirus and is experiencing mild cold-like symptoms. Plus, President Vladimir Putin has overseen extensive nuclear exercise as tensions surge over Ukraine. That's all for this edition of the news at 10 p.m. Thanks for the pleasure of your company and do have a pleasant night.